Hey, thanks for joining me. I'm the big guy, and this is Cardboard Meditation. And I don't want you to go digging into the bottom of your cornflakes right now searching for that baseball card, because I'm going to have 15 of the Kellogg's 1970 cards coming up right after this.
Hey, baseball fan. Time for a little self-care and a few minutes of cardboard meditation. Welcome to the show that features some of baseball's oddest stories and the cardboard slabs that document them. Find peace and joy through baseball cards with your host, the big guy.
Okay, this is the second video of the 5 videos that I plan to show of the Kellogg's 3D cards that were premiums in the box of cereal, several different boxes of cereal. There was Corn Flakes, Frosted Flakes, Raisin Bran. I'm probably leaving one out, so maybe Fruit Loops, I'm not sure, in 1970. And it was the very first year that Kellogg's had offered these cards, and of course they offered them for a few years after that. But these ones, to me, are the nicest. Maybe it's because they were the first, I don't know, but I really enjoyed the 70 over any of the other cards that they actually had offered. Now, to be clear, I'm from Battle Creek, Michigan, the cereal city, and I'm very aware of Kellogg's and Post and to some extent Ralston products. And we didn't ever get a chance to eat any Kellogg cereal. We couldn't buy it, couldn't eat it, nothing like that, because my mom worked for Post Cereals. And we knew where those paychecks came from, so we couldn't go do what everybody else was doing. So I did enjoy the cards later on because at some point, a lot of those cards, I think, left the factory in empty lunchboxes and bags and became quite the souvenir of people all over the Battle Creek, Michigan. And I was able to pick up quite a few at one time. I think they've all dried up. Many generations ago have probably thrown them all away, but I have a lot of them, and I really enjoy them. So let's take a look at the next 15 cards that I'm going to show you, starting with number 16, Carlos May. Now, Carlos is the younger brother of a ball player from the Reds named Lee May. Now, you might remember those guys if you're from that era. Lee May was a big first baseman. Carlos May was an outfielder. He also played a little infield, as I remember, at least in one game. They were the first brothers to play against each other in an all-star game. And Carlos was in the AL. Lee was in the National League. And he didn't... Carlos, he's got his start in 1970, his full year. But in 1969, he suffered a severe injury while serving in the Marine Reserves at Camp Pendleton out in California. He was cleaning a mortar when it fired, and it blew off part of his thumb, and he had to have the rest of that part of that thumb amputated. Can you believe that? He had partial amputation of his thumb, was playing in Major League ball games the next year. That's amazing to me. He was also a guy that got a chance to wear his birthday on his back. His last name, Carlos May. That's May 17. That was his uniform number. It was also his birthday. Thought that was pretty good. Carlos worked as a post office employee, delivered mail after his ball playing days were over. I thought that'd be so cool to have Carlos May as my mailman. He'd never get anything done. I'd stop him every day and talk baseball. All right, Carlos May, card number 16. All right, let's go ahead and get card 17. Bill Singer. His nicknames were Sing Sing, as you can imagine, Billy No-No, and Dodger announcer Vince Scully referred to him as the Singer throwing machine. That's pretty clever. Of course, Vin was always pretty clever. He played in the 1969 Major League Baseball All-Star Game at RFK Stadium, and he pitched 2 scoreless innings in the National League's 9-3 win. That was the year that Singer became the first pitcher to be officially credited with a save. This was the first guy to get that statistic, and it was made official starting in 1969 after that. All right, here we go with the third card here anyway. Rick Reichert, card number 18. So, in 1966, Reichert became the first player to hit a home run at Anaheim Stadium. He was also one of the first bonus babies where he got a good chunk of change for signing. And that always kind of made some other ball players angry because these guys made a lot of money. And as we'll find out, later in the season in '66, he batted .288, 16 home runs, 44 RBI, and that was just in the first 89 games. He was diagnosed with a kidney ailment that resulted in the removal of a kidney. After a while, he did recover. He came back to hit .265, 17 home runs in '67, and hit .255 with 21 home runs in '68. He was really never quite the same after that operation, and he retired after one at-bat in 1974. Here is a legendary ball player from the 70s. This is number 19 in the set, Boog Powell. He was a four-time All-Star, and he led the American League in 1964 with a .606 slugging percentage. And he won the Most Valuable Player Award in 1970, the very year this card was created. He won the MVP. Powell explained that down south, they used to call kids who were often getting into mischief little buggers. And his dad shortened it to just Boog, or Boog, and that's how he got his nickname. Powell played in both the Little League World Series and the Major League Baseball World Series. Now, Powell and Dodger Jim Barberry were the only two players to do that. Boog Powell. Okay, card number 20. This is Gaylord Perry. Now, he was a real durable pitcher. This guy lasted a long time. Played together in Cleveland in 1974 and 75. So these two were actually teammates and became the first brothers to win both 200 games in the major leagues and remain the only brothers to each win Cy Young Awards. Now, in 1978, Perry became the third pitcher to register 3,000 strikeouts, and while pitching for the Seattle Mariners in 1982, he became the first pitcher in 19 years to join the 300-win club. He joined Walter Johnson to become only the second pitcher to reach both milestones. Perry was known to doctor baseballs and, approached the makers of Vaseline about endorsing the product. And the Vaseline folks, they sent back a memo that said, "We soothe babies' backsides, not baseballs." Gaylord Perry. All right. This is one of my favorite ball players right here. Number 21 in the set, Brooks Robinson, nicknamed Mr. Hoover and the human vacuum cleaner. He is generally considered to have been the greatest defensive third baseman in the game, especially at that time, maybe even today, depending on who you talk to. He was an 18-time All-Star, won 16 consecutive Gold Glove awards, and that's the most by any position player. Now, here's a story that I have of a personal interaction with Mr. Robinson here. He was at a card show that I set up at in, I think, 1981. It could have been 82. But he was one of the autograph guests, along with Lou Boudreau and Johnny Mize. And I was watching him from afar, and he kept drinking like out of a pop bottle. He was drinking Malanta. He had a real bad stomach issue. Man, boy, he was just downing the Malanta like you wouldn't believe. When I got a chance to go up and talk to him, because all of the vendors, you got a chance to interact with these guys. And I looked down, and he's got his World Series ring sitting on the table. And I said, "Wow, that's your World Series ring." He goes, "Yeah, go ahead and try it on." So I tried on his World Series ring from 1970. Didn't fit, but I got to try it on. That's Brooks Robinson. All right. Just recently passed away. All right. Number 22 is Louis Aparicio, and he was one of the spark plugs for that go-go White Sox back in 1959. When he retired, Aparicio was second to Ty Cobb in career at-bats with 10,230, fifth in games played, which was 2,599, and seventh in singles with 2,108. He stole 506 stolen bases and trailed only Ty Cobb and Eddie Collins among AL players. Ted Williams called Aparicio the best shortstop he ever saw. All right, Joe Horland. Joe Horland is the 23rd ball player in that set for the 1970 Kellogg's, and he's the only player to ever play for teams that won a Pony League championship. He did that in 1952. And playing for Oklahoma State, he won the College World Series in 1959. And playing for Oakland, he won the Major League World Series in 1972. He also threw a no-hitter against the Tigers, my Detroit Tigers, back in 1967. Okay. Card number 24 in the 1970 Kellogg set was Mike Epstein. In 1965, he batted .384 in college as a college senior and was named an All-American, and he represented the United States in baseball at the 1964 Summer Olympics. And at that time, it was a demonstration sport in Tokyo. So when he came up in 1971 of May, while on the road with Arlington, Texas, Epstein and slugger Reggie Jackson, when he was playing for Oakland, came to blows in the clubhouse because Reggie had a problem with the way Epstein was using complimentary tickets for family members. The next day, owner Charlie Finley asked him about the incident, and then Finley claimed that Epstein attacked his star player, Reggie Jackson. Epstein disputed that. Charlie Finley kind of made a lot of trouble for a lot of folks. Epstein claimed that Jackson was the problem, and then just demanded to be traded. The 25th card in the 1970 Kellogg set was, or is, Tom Haller. He was a great defensive catcher and a decent hitter, too. And he was also the younger brother of American League umpire Bill Haller. And in July 1972, the men appeared in the same game with Tom catching for the Tigers at that point, and Bill stood behind him at the home plate as the umpire. That's kind of cool. You hear about all the brothers that played with each other, maybe father and son, but you don't hear about umpire and brother catcher or position player. Card number 26 is Willie Crawford. This is Al Campanis signed Crawford for the Dodgers for $100,000 2 days after he graduated from high school. That's amazing. In 1964, because of the bonus rule that was in existence at that time, Crawford had to play for the Dodgers major league team in both 64 and 65. He debuted September 16th, 1964 at the age of 18. As a rookie, he batted .313. He went 5 for 16 with 3 runs, 1 double, and stole a base. He had a pinch hit single in Game 1 of the 1965 World Series. All that for an 18-year-old. Here's the legend, card number 27, Roberto Clemente. We all pretty much know his story. But did you know he was the first player from the Caribbean and Latin America to win a World Series as a starting position player? You would think that was done before, but nope, 1960 was the first year. He received the NL MVP in 1966 and to receive a World Series MVP in 1971. So during spring training in 1961, he followed the advice from Pirates batting coach and Hall of Famer George Sisler. Clemente tried to modify his batting technique by using a heavier bat to slow the speed of his swing. That's amazing. I had no idea that he was a student of George Sisler. Card number 28, Matty Alou. Alou was a 2-time All-Star and a 1966 National League batting champion. Alou was the middle of a trio of baseball-playing brothers that included older brother Felipe and younger brother Jesus. They were the first set of 3 siblings to all bat in the same half inning in the majors, which was September 10th, 1963, and play together in the same outfield, which was September 15th, 1963, and they did it all for the Giants, playing for them back in the middle 60s. Another legend, here we go, Mr. Clemente's teammate, card number 29, Willie Stargell. Now, Tommy Harper and Kurt Motton were his high school teammates. Both made it to the major leagues. Stargell was not allowed to stay in the same accommodations as white players. So, lodging for black players was located in the poor black areas of those towns. While in Plainview, Texas, during his minor league career, he was accosted at gunpoint by a man who threatened his life if he played that night's game. Stargell played and nothing came of the incident. He might have quit baseball over racial difficulties that he experienced, but he was encouraged by letters he received from a friend and baseball scout Bob Zook. Pops was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1988 and his first year of eligibility. Great ball player. Okay, this is the last card in this video of 15 cards from the 1970 Kellogg set. This is card number 30, Tim Cullen. Cullen is one of the few rookies in Major League Baseball to hit a come-from-behind walk-off home run. And he did it August 18th, 1967. And I got another personal story with this gentleman. He was the general manager of a local A-class baseball team we had in Battle Creek called the Michigan Battle Cats. And working for a radio station, I got a chance to do some stuff for them as far as commercials go, and got a chance to talk with Mr. Cullen quite a bit about the Battle Cats and about his career. So that was a lot of fun, and I'm blessed with actually being able to talk to people like this, because I know most people, they don't. Okay, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. I will have another video of 15 more cards from the 70 Kellogg set coming up in just a day or two. So keep watching for those. If you really enjoy watching, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button and hit that subscription button and be my best buddy on YouTube, because I'd really appreciate that. Remember, if you'd really like to bring happiness to your life, you've got to do that yourself, and you can do that with baseball cards. It's true. Talk soon.
Cardboard meditation helps set your mind right. Thank you for watching. Show us your appreciation by clicking the like and subscribe button. Ring the bell while you're at it so you'll know when we upload a new story.